Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Crypto Compass, where I will be serving you your daily crypto breakfast. My name is Mike Williams, and I'm the host of this show, where I will be giving you my daily overview on the charts each and every day. Today is the last episode of the week, because it's Friday and after that it's weekend. So today I will be zooming out really slightly and also give my thoughts a little bit on the overview, and then we will tune in simply to what I am looking on the day. So I've already prepared the chart a little bit for you on the higher time frame, where we are currently looking at the 4-hour time frame and what we might possibly expect over the weekend. To be really honest, we can already see that over the course of this entire week, we really have started building a new section within a larger section of the chart, and we have been simply totally and utterly range bound. There have been a few very good trading setups throughout the week, although much more patience is required and price action is much more slow. So more anticipation and more patience really is required, because these are the moments where people get bored, and that is where overtrading starts, right? And that is what you typically do not want to do. Here on this channel, what I teach, in full transparency, I teach here to have that patience and look only for the best trading setups, and do not get your psychology in the way. That's the most important thing. So hopefully I can be that guiding light in that. Now let's take a quick look, right? So let's just really zoom out and just take a short look. I'm going to keep this update pretty short and pretty sweet. First of all, overall, on the macro time frame, very little has changed. If we simply look at the facts stated in front of us, this has been a sideways range for a very long amount of time. We have simply broken out, and until the day of today, we are still simply above it. So overall, if you start counting from, let's say, from last year's summer, we are currently still in an uptrend which has not been broken yet. So this uptrend would be broken if we start losing $25,000 area. Currently, we have met resistance, which has proven to be fairly strong resistance. Now, this little consolidation area represents not only that point as resistance, however, but instead it also represents literally the bottom of a 2-year long standing range. Hence the reason why we are now consolidating underneath it for an extended time. Where it becomes a little bit more fuzzy right now is the current situation that we're in. Because what happened initially is we broke out of this white box over here. Had a sideways range, seemingly broken out of it, eventually failed to do so, came back in this range where this bottom line stood as support, and ultimately we could be classing this entire zone as a sideways going range as well. Now, of which the latest rotation to the downside, we are now currently starting to reach the bottom of that range. And I'm not going to lie, while this is really where it really starts to become a little bit more, how would I class that? A little bit more unclear on what the real situation is. So while the facts in front of us is on the macro time frame, we are currently in an uptrend. On the midterm time frame, we are currently still sideways, but within that range, we are simply currently in a downtrend, a more local downtrend that has brought us to the low of the range, right? And now as time is passing, the longer we stay here, the more it is starting to seem that originally this level of support, it really depends where you pull it from, and that's what makes it a little bit tricky. The where you pull it from, I would say I'm pulling this because this is where the gist of the price action has been, also very well respected. We are now starting to consolidate on/slightly underneath it. And that brings us in such a 50-50 types of situation where at the moment it's fairly difficult to decipher what really is going on the midterm time frame right now. Is this acting as support, or are we starting to build resistance? So that piece of information is missing currently. This is the reason why we are ranging, and why on the midterm time frame it is a little bit more difficult to really be confident with a prediction on which way this is going to go next. So I'm going to have to rely on the facts that are lying in front of me, and I'm going to keep saying this as long as the overall trend is up. I still foresee a possible rotation, at least to the upside, with that $30,000 once in mind. However, the local price action is not so clear, right? And therefore, with that piece of missing information on what really is going on here, it can be rewarding to simply be a little bit more patient. So I myself, I am currently still in swing long trades, but as time is progressing and the longer that this is going to take, I might consider, taking something off of my position just to mitigate the risk, just in the case that we should break down. To me, it is way more important to protect my capital rather than to increase it. So having that said, with that painted picture slightly unclear, the only real thing that we really can do is just focus on the local section, right? Because whichever way this section is going to break, as we've mapped out, that is going to give us more clarity on where we are at on that midterm time frame. What is the purpose of this local range? And at the moment, that's simply not clear. However, that should not bring us to desperation, because we can simply trade it. And for me, it is very simple, largely remains unchanged, because earlier in the week, I have presented to you all this following channel, right, where I marked this as support, where there's plenty of confluence. We have the value area low of the midterm time frame range. We have a daily level over here, and we simply have price action over here, and we have a local point of control set over here, giving us that support region. And the price action up here simply just shows very well respected, even yesterday, right after we have taken the long over here. We made that rotation to the upside, ultimately failed a little bit in the older channel where I adjusted it more to this top side of this range. I have adjusted it now because now we have new data and it fits better. Midline very well respected, very well respected. Here slightly front run, but here again very well respected. At the moment still front running here, but that's fine. It does give us a guideline. Now, I'm not just pulling up these random lines because it is backed up by some daily levels. Again, giving us our support and resistance levels, potentially for the day once again. As you can see, yesterday we did had quite a volatile day. After the rise, after ranging the majority of the day, we had a drop straight down all the way into, once again, the golden pocket. Taking out all these lows over here, and from there on out bounced, and overnight we have simply just ranged over here. So the way that I am currently looking at it simply is as follows. We have now tested these lows multiple times. So far we are still holding it. So the chance is relatively high that we could potentially see another rotation to the upside, right? And that is where I'm really now starting to boil down. And over the week, with the new price action that has been given to me, I've really now come to finalize my day trading charts as follows. The way that I'm simply looking at it is as follows. This channel is currently the channel that we're in, right? Now, should we break to the downside, then that can be simply extended to a larger channel where we can see that confluence, right? Where we can see that confluence encompassing all the price actions, all the price action of this entire section, right? Because, and the reason why I'm doing it this way for the larger channel is If we break this range, that can give us more clarity on what is going to happen on the midterm time frame. Are we breaking the midterm time frame that we've now spent in a month or so, maybe even longer, from the top of my head? If we leave this channel, then that means also a new chapter in the midterm timeframe story. And the same goes for the upside, because if we break this to the upside, then the chances increase significantly that we get that full rotation once again to the top of the larger range, all the way up to $31,000 again. So that marks line in the sand levels for me, that if it breaks, I'm not going to be afraid, and I'm not going to be greedy, but all I am actually going to be happy, because it helps me understand the bigger picture once more. Until then, I have taken a more 50-50 stance, and I'm simply just going to trade what is given to me currently. And what is really given currently to me is the following: small range. If we break to the downside, it extends in this larger channel. And you can see how these channels really work well together. Even though this local channel gives us really nice respect on the local price action, right? Midline respected. However, the bottom line of the channel also lines up nicely with the midline of this channel, right? And that is really how these two channels are working together. Now, I have to admit, below this low, there is not really that much support anymore. So should we attempt this low again, we have done 1, 2, 3 times now, and in its process, even so slightly, I'm not classing this as a downtrend, I am classing this as sideways price action, but you could potentially see this as lower lows are simply being made, and lower highs are being made as well. So if we start attempting this low again, I think there's a very good chance that we're gonna fall through, because we have tested this support multiple times now, and at some point it does need to break. So I think if on our next attempt, I think the possibility of us actually dropping further downwards, there is really not that much support below us, is much more likely. And with that, we do have a potential of, let's say, taking out this low once again and then come up again. If we do not do that, right, if we backtest it instead, then we simply have lower prices to come. And with that, the same also goes for the upside, right? Because we have been attempting these highs now a few times. I do think if we come up there again, there is a probability, there is a pretty decent chance that we actually start breaking this channel to the upside. However, the rules are trading a range until it breaks. So that is what I'm going to do. So overall, it has given me a few trades throughout the week, right? It has given me some long trades over here. It has given me some short trades over here, short trades. And, short trade over here. Has given me a short trade over here, and so it has been a profitable range, albeit the trading setups don't come along every 10 minutes or so right now in this current condition. It will come back, right? But for now, patience is required for the very best trading setups, and if you can bring up that patience and execute your trades well, this range can be extremely profitable, because after all, it's a 3% range, right? So you do the math. That concludes this update for today. Hopefully everything is clear. If you have any questions, leave a comment below, and hopefully see you in the competition. Have a great weekend, people. Stay sensible with your trades, and see you all back on Monday for another breakfast. Cheers, guys.